Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. We are in the Ducal Palace in First Fires.
Ready when you are.
In Defiance Bay. We have a few quests to do. We have to inform Lady Webb about the Lady Leaden-Keys activities in Heritage Hill. We have to travel to Durford Village, which is after Defiance Bay, so we gotta do some things here first. This is the DLC, so we're not doing that yet. Then we have to speak to Augusti at the Valian Embassy, which is in this district where we are at now. I have no idea how to find the Elon breastplate. Travel to the Cliffs is on division, no idea where that is. Endless Paths, we could go back there, but I don't want to do that now. This is no idea, we just have to follow it. Travel with Ida to the Records Archive. This is where we are right now. Tasks, take the scepter pieces to Nans in the Brackenberry Sanitarium, we can do that. Parable of Whale, retrieve the stolen scroll. I have no idea where that is. I'll have to see where that is. The Blade of the Endless Paths, it's also in the Endless Paths, of course, so we gotta do that later. Now we go to the Records Archive. Hello.
Not a problem.
Sidley, welcome to the Ducal Palace.
Greetings.
The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? What is the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admeth Hadred declared freedom from Aediran rule some 150 years ago. She lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Ah, Deerwood politics. It changes too quickly to be worth keeping up with. Better to strike up conversation in the taverns than try to loiter inconspicuously in the palace corridors. Looking for news? Well, who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and his advisors. The pay's not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. And what goes on in here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings, and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work, so there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magran official records and chambers for public hearings and council meetings. Alright, tell me about the Shrine of Magran. It's a symbol of Magran's protection of Defiance Bay. She's represented the revolutionary spirit of the Deerwood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the god Hammerbomb only affirmed her importance to us. She scratches her neck. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burn, but Fearga, the tranquil ardent, has had trouble keeping them lit. What kinds of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff, census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day and got drafted into reshelving half of the records. She yawns. Worst day of my life. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Avar's been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is terribly secret, though. I tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away, she sniffs. But a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. What do you mean by the legacy? Waidwin's legacy. That's what a lot of people call the Rush of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. Why is animancy so controversial? She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky. But the more progressive elements believe it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old Angwithan relics that were illegally looted from ruins in Aer Glanfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. What a hellborn. As if I didn't know that now. So what do you think about adamancy? Me? I think the real danger of adamancy is confusing a real scholar with an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple in the gift or copper lane who spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. I see. Anyway, the legacy is what the politicians have all been whispering about lately. I'd like to talk about something else. Of course, I've always kept my ear to the ground. Well, can you tell me about the current Duke? That would be Ava Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Ava rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. Alright, goodbye. Can we go to the records? Because the records are here, right? And we need to go to the Hall of Records for Idair. Let me go to the shrine first. Oh, Firga, most bright, Magran, transform us with your flame.
How do you do?
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at the statue near her. She notices you and forces a smile. Praise be to Magran, and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? You seem upset. What's wrong? Her shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? She puts a hand on your shoulder. They're just symbols. You can't put your faith in them. Only symbols? Is that what you're so distressed? No, I just... She sighs with a hiss like a release of steam. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure them for months now, and people need to see them more than ever these days. What does that mean? It's my devotion and prayers that keep them lit, but lately when I try to pray, all I can think about are the Hollowborn all over the city, the grieving families, the refugees. She shakes her head. How could Magran allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? Durant grunts with disdain. What strength do we gain from adversity, from trial and test? I'm sorry if I do that voice a bit different. I don't know exactly how to make his voice. I hope you can forgive me. The fires don't wither because she lacks in faith. They wither because she does not understand how to be faithful to a whore. A whore wants neither praise nor devotion. A whore wants to be compensated for her services. And Magran is paid and pleasured in sweat and struggle and pain. This mewling imbecile is unworthy of Magran's womanly heat. Holy. To say that in front of a priest of that god is a bit... I mean, he has balls. Take heart and don't abandon your faith too easily. She nods hopefully, her hands clasped together. You're right, and unfortunately, I believe Magran's been speaking to me again. She casts a quick glance in your direction. There are some things you can know without quite understanding them. If I'm not mistaken, you seem to know what I mean. Lately I've been seeing visions. A place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color. Strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash into the earth. She raises her hands as if framing an image of her vision. And behind the falls is a cave, filled with fire and heat and danger, and some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is, or how I'd get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around at the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest though, I don't know what I'd do even if I found the place. Worthless. Like so many of Magran's flock, afraid of her god's tests. If Magran speaks to her, it is to hasten an end to a hypocrite's life, and this vision is surely a death trap for the weak. What's the significance of the sacred pyres? They symbolize Magran's power and guidance, and right now the people of Defiance Bay need to be assured of her presence. She crosses her arms, staring at the statue. Our neighbors in the Valian Republic see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. Something else? Well, I'd like to know more about the temple here. Magran is the most revered goddess among us Tirwoodans, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the ducal palace. Her fires symbolize trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. She gestures to the statue. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. Alright, goodbye. I have a new quest. Yeah, I have to find out where that is, right? Travel to the cave from Fjorga's vision. Yeah, probably good to ask around in the mission if they know what or where it is. Yeah, I could do it, but
Ready when you are.
I don't think it's necessary to. I want to do something else first, so yeah. A stone figure of a warrior gazes toward her raised hand. It's empty, but the palm and fingers are blackened. Maybe we need to find that which needs to go here.
Not a problem.
Maybe. That at least would be my idea. Can we open this door? Yes, we can. This is stealing, so I'm not doing any of that. We're not allowed to go in there, I suppose. Only people with official invitations are allowed to observe the animancy hearings. Alright, I'm not interested in going inside of there. I would like to go to the records for Idair. Now this is stealing, so nothing for us. Are we allowed to go inside the records? Records keeper. Yes, we are. Let's talk to the records keeper.
Good day to you.
A taciturn man with graying hair pores over a tome he's just withdrawn from one of the shelves. He glances up at you with baggy eyes. Yes, is there something I can pull for you? I'm looking for militia records from the time of the Saints' War, trying to find out what happened to someone. The man clears his throat. We've had a number of inquiries about such information. I'm afraid we've had to bar access to the public. Seems there are still quite a number of folk in Deerwood who bear ill will towards Red Sirens. It would be irresponsible to surrender the names to just anyone. Many came to settle here as refugees. Perhaps if you were more established in Defiance Bay, things would be different, but I have no reason to suspect you to be any different from the others. Perception 17. There is something peculiar about the records keeper's inflection. The differences are subtle, but it does not sound like any native Derwooden you've heard. Perception 19. As the records keeper gestures, you also notice faint scars on both his wrists where shackles once clasped. Damn it, I couldn't. Those scars on your wrists, you were a prisoner. Was once, now am happily free to do my job, which for you, I'm afraid, means you will have to seek your information elsewhere. I take what I want. The records keeper frowns. In the Duke's palace, I can assure you that you do not. Besides, without my assistance, you'd be sifting through scrolls for years. I would need someone else with lore and resolve. Probably, Okay, no, he doesn't have lore, Aloth, but we've come a long way. I just need to find out about my brother. I don't even know what side he fought for. You must understand, I have heard many such stories. I'm afraid there is nothing I can do. Alright. Can I ask Alof? Because he should have lore 15. Farewell. I don't know if that's possible. He has lore 11. Okay, so not enough. And resolve, who has the best resolve? It needs to be 17. Durance has the best. Okay, I could ask Durance, maybe. Can you go and ask? No,
What?
Durance? Could you go and ask him?
Greetings.
Can I try to do that with him? No, I need to have resolve myself, apparently. That's interesting. I thought it would work with him. Alright.
Just say the word.
We need to have a better standing in Defiance Bay. That means... faintly good. Okay, we need to be overwhelmingly good to be allowed, I would guess. And we're not going to
Not a
steal
problem.
here, so... Isn't that the room where they are talking about animancy? Ah, I need the key. Alright, I thought so. Okay, which means I'm not actually able to go inside of there to talk. It was like one quest. Was it Undying Heritage? Yes. Okay, I understand, but the thing is that the soldiers told me to go get, like, allowance from someone, and I wanted to find that person. Probably it's in the embassy. Let's see. Because if I tell them that we freed Heritage Hill, we for certain would get a boost in our standing here in Defiance Bay. At least that's what I would assume. I don't know who I would have to ask, though.
Politics, infighting, greed, and a shrine to Magrin as well. Her clergy belongs there.
The stones of this ancient tower have been blackened by centuries-old fires, surrounded by a patch of wildflowers. It looks like a memorial. Alright. Well, let me go first into the Crucible Keep, because... Can we talk to those people? Alright, nope. Those are just... people. Crier, maybe you? Call for interested patrons. Even the most daring of adventurers must keep up their strength. Alright. There's nothing to say. Can we... Ah, I don't have to go this way, I see. Oh, what do we have here? Temple... Ah, that's the other entrance to the temple, which I'm not going in yet, because, I mean, we've been there already, so it's not needed. Let's go in here before we go to the embassy. Justicia Aldmar. What business brings you to the keep? Hello.
Gods keep you.
Aldmar gives you an appraising eye. Judging by the scars on his face, he's lucky to be able to do that much. Every day we get more from the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Keeps us busy on the watch, it does. You look like you recently arrived yourself. Yeah? Who are you? A soldier of the Crucible Knights, and proud of it. I help keep everything running at the keep so that Commander Cliver can focus on more important matters. Looking for something, or just knocking the dirt off your boots? What goes on in Crucible Keep? This is the headquarters of the Crucible Knights, so it's where we store arms and armor, as well as where many of our soldiers bunk. Commander Cliver's in the back, making plans as usual. He scratches his scarred cheek. You'll find the forge at the west end of the building, along with our Master Smith Dunstan. There's also a shrine to the Golem if you're the praying type. Can you tell me about the Crucible Knights? We're the defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a formal knighthood, but don't tell Commander Cliver I said that. He grins. We were the first organized militia to oppose Aediran rule, and today, we're the largest force in the city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by that critter out in Dunred Row. What's this about Dunred Row? Just a requirement of the Crucible Knights, so the higher-ups know there's nothing messy built in your soul's past. Aldmar widens his stance. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful in hiring their ciphers. Okay, and what's wrong with their ciphers? He shifts his weight and glances at the empty halls. They're mostly Orlans. I'm sure they're talented enough, but you just can't trust them. Hostility is in their nature, and they've learned to hide it over the years. He frowns and crosses his arms. All I'm saying is they should at least be supervised by other folk. That's reasonable enough, isn't it? If people treated them better, you wouldn't have to worry about them being so hostile. I believe that. Aldmar shrugs. I'm just speaking the truth. Nowadays it seems that's the biggest crime of all. Well, that's all. Let's go check out who or what people we have here. Holy hell. Forge, barracks, war room, Shrine of Abaddon, and training room. Well, I think we can look around a bit, you know. Archives. Actually, why not check out those archives as well? Okay, everything would be stealing here. This is a record of active patrols and reported crimes in Ondra's Gift. The latter far outnumbered the former. Okay. So more crimes. Trying to see if there are any people or if we can find any. This looks a bit like a secret door, you know. And there would be space for another room. Dunstan and the novitiate. Tongues of flame lick at the forge, hissing with smoke as hot as a dragon's breath. Tongs, hardies, hammers, fullers, and punch tools hang from the wall. They feel heavy and sturdy, but their flame-darkened surfaces testify to frequent use. Hello, Dunstan.
If this is about the breastplates, I already told Cleaver they won't be repaired till next week.
Cleaver, not Cliver. Alright. Show him the pieces of the Blade of the Endless Paths. I found several fragments of an ancient sword. Do you think you could repair it? Dunstan gives a low whistle. That's a fine blade indeed. He holds one fragment in his rough hands. Looks Sadiran, special made. Must have been a commission for a champion of some sort. He hands the shard back to you. A sword of this caliber would have had a specially designed hilt too. It would be a shame to graft anything else onto it, and besides, it'll balance best with all of the original pieces. You find the rest of it and I'll forge it for you. Something else on your mind? What do you do here?
I'm a forge master. I'm a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
Alright, tell me about the knights.
We were all smiths back in Hodred's day, though I'm
Hodred.
about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force, though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lineages and connections to the Deerwood's heroes of old. He picks up his hammer again. Other than Dunrid Robe, who really knows about any of that, though. Alright, goodbye. So we know, once we have finished the Endless Paths, we can come back here for him to forge the weapon for us. Penhelm?
Good day, stranger.
The young novitiate's armor is recently shined and his hair is clean and neatly combed. It's hard to believe he's even seen battle, or that the scarred, antique breastplate he wears could possibly be his. Oh, are you looking for something? Does the name Osric sound familiar? He sniffs. If you've got any self-respect, you won't associate with him, or with any of his new friends at the Expedition Hall for that matter. Scamps and delinquents, the lot of them. Affidavit is a forgery. What is affidavit? I don't know that name. Is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. He looks down and admires it. It became property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine. And it's not for sale, if that's what you're wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. Alright. How would I get it from him, you know? I am not going to kill him or attack him. I can't even attack anyone outside of being hostile already or through dialogue. And if I don't have the option in the dialogue, yeah, I can't steal it from his body anyway. So, what's the story between you two? Osric has always held some controversial opinions, but they went overlooked for the longest time because his family has such an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He frowns and crosses his arms. He finally went too far. He had the gall to suggest that we had... he had the gall to suggest that we had strayed too far from our roots, that some of our officers were beginning to resemble Adir nobility. He wraps a spot on his bracer with a silk handkerchief. He would have us all wear a rough span and fight with forged hammers. I merely reported his statements. And that's how you got it. You're really a shit man. Yeah, anyways. If the knights obsessed over their past, they wouldn't have grown into the fighting force they are today. The history made the knights what they are now. You can't just cast it aside. What good comes of this sentimentality? We've outgrown the past. He waves his shining gauntlets. Sometimes you need to move on. He says your affidavit is a forgery. Just what would he know about that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspersions What with his pedigree in the Knights? He folds his arms. He blinks at you. It's a lie, of course, as should be perfectly obvious to someone as logical as you. Enough about Osric. On that we can agree. How does someone become a knight? We don't take just anyone. Our members share soul legacies with the very men and women who defended this land a century and a half ago. He shifts his weight and coughs. Anyhow, Commander Cleaver is responsible for initiations, but he rarely accepts foreigners. Was there anything else? Tell me about the Knights of the Crucible. We're the primary defenders of Defiance Bay. The Order's founders were the first to rally for Deerwood and independence. He waves his hand. Of course, that's ancient history now. Now we're the most prestigious company of soldiers in the Deerwood. It's a glorious line of work. He scrunches up his nose. If you can forget about the barracks, that is. Well, farewell. I have an update to Rogue Knights. Find Penham's affidavit at Crucible Keep. What is his affidavit? Give me a second. I have no idea what that word means, so I want to check it, and I believe if I don't know what it means, a lot of you who are watching this also don't know what it means. Affidavit meaning affidavit. Affidavit. Okay. A written statement confirmed by oath or affirmation for use as evidence in court. Alright. I see. So I have to find some paper. Find Penhelm's affidavit at Crucible Keep. I hope I don't have to steal it. I probably have to steal it. But the problem is, I could technically sneak, but my sneak skill is like crazy bad. I believe, yeah. Well, I have 3, which is still fine.
Ready when you are.
Can I?
Not a
try
problem.
it? I'm being seen, so I have to be careful, yeah.
That'll do it.
Okay, he's not here. Chest stealing here. Probably I have to... I don't think you know anything of it. Something else in your mind? No. Who's this? Novitiated? I hope I get promoted to Justica soon. Alright. Well, I can steal with my character. It's possible, but... might not be the easiest way to do. I mean, it might be the might not be the easiest way is wrong. I mean, it might not be easy to do. There's a Justiciar.
Ready when you are.
Oh, of course, I'm being seen here. I need to look around here now, yeah. This Justiciar will come back for sure, but maybe I'm fast enough. The Blacksmith Knights, a short history of the Knights of the Crucible? Nope. Penham's... Ah, I found it. Curran, a cipher duly appointed and employed by Dunred Rowe, does hereby certify that Novitiate A.M. Penhelm has been found to have a soul free of any subversive influences or tainted essence. The scroll is stamped with the seal of Dunred Rowe and signed by both Penhelm and Curran. Alright, I found it.
Yeah?
Bring Penhelm's affidavit. Affidavit to Curran, alright. But I want to look around a bit more here before we go back there. I'll end the episode in a second because we've reached 30 minutes of recording time. I'm not going to steal anything else if I don't have to. It's not necessary. What do we have here? This thick grime takes the bottom of the tub. The towel hanging from the side gives off an awful stench. Alright. I see. Now to the dining room, I guess. But I'm going to do that in the next episode. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Pillars of Eternity. Until then, bye bye.